Well, thank you so much and welcome to your event. And it really is your event because we are celebrating you. And we're celebrating you because you are our inspiration. You really inspire the work that is done by the foundation. And we rely on not only your moral support, but all of the things that you do to make us a better organization. And without you, it really doesn't work the way it should. And so since it is working the way it should, we thank you again and welcome you to this celebration. We hope you liked your goodie bags. Hopefully they reached you. If some of you are in faraway places, they may not have reached you yet, but Laura's hot on that, getting those out to you, so you will get them. And spoiler alert, the brownies are awesome. Okay, they are indeed.
And no calories.
And 0 calories. I want to give you just a brief overview because we've already handled some of the technology things that might have come up at the beginning. But I want to, first of all, thank all of you and, of course, the Peach Pit Foundation, because the Peach Pit Foundation is the genesis of the grants that have impacted, well, the impact grants that we've given to the libraries in the Middlesex County area. And that's going to be the feature of a very, very well done and nice presentation that Laura has put together for us. And I've gotten a little sneak preview of it and it looks just terrific. And if any of you don't know Laura, she is our relatively new, but comfortably into the position, I think, Director of Development and Community Outreach. And we're so happy and fortunate to have her. So I will be turning things over to Sharon in a moment to talk further about that. And then you'll see that video and then, you'll see that presentation from Laura. And then you will see and hear from Jessica Scheff and Ellen Paul about the game that took over East Hampton. And I got a little inside information on that. And some of you may know about it as well, but it's going to be just terrific. So without further ado, let me turn it over to you, Sharon. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, John. It is so wonderful for me to see your faces and hear some smiling, hear your smiles, your familiar voices. It truly brings me great joy. And all of us here have a strong belief in our community foundation, as John said. We're willing to invest with them both our time and financial support. For the past several years, my family has been proud to sponsor a yearly luncheon where we show our appreciation and admiration to you who have generously chosen to be members of the foundation's leadership circle. And today, we have the Prestons with us who really initiated this, I'm not sure how many years ago, but it is from them that this has transpired. So our luncheons have always been an uplifting gathering of like-minded individuals who've chosen to specifically support the operations budget, which, as you know, in turn, allows more funding to be distributed directly to our community nonprofits. This year in particular, your support has meant more than ever. Through it all, the foundation continued to operate through these challenging times without a blip. They immediately became a backbone, a resource of support, information, and action for our local nonprofits. And you, my friends, are the ones who made that possible. So while we could not share lunch this year, the question was, could we still have a little fun? The idea was born to do something for each town. And we decided the best way to accomplish this was to work through the heart and great equalizer of every town, the local library. In your honor, Peach Pit made a $1,000 donation through the Community Foundation to each of the libraries in Middlesex County. And there were two instructions: have some fun and put the money to use as soon as possible. There was no need to save it for a rainy day or the best idea ever. The rainy day was already here. It was time to have some fun. So there was another Zoom meeting where we shared all this with the library staff. And the response was immediately overwhelming. There were joy, smiles, appreciation, ideas in an instant. It was incredible. There was a buzz in the air, which very much reminded me of the vibe that we have at our luncheons. It was truly a wonderful moment. And while this sounds simple, there was a significant amount of work behind the scenes to put this project together. As usual, Cynthia, Bear, Jennifer, and especially Laura worked above and beyond to coordinate the many details. And I also want to give a special shout out to our creative artistic volunteer extraordinaire, Judy, because she put in a lot of time and relentless energy to make today special for all of us with our great treat bags. So I was so proud to see the positive community participation, response, and feedback, a positive impact in difficult times. And I hope that all of you are proud too, because you had a role in bringing this to fruition. Your generous financial support and confidence in our shining community foundation is deeply appreciated and very meaningful. So let's see what our local libraries have been doing.
Okay, here we are. Did you know? You, with a lot of help from our libraries, spread joy throughout our county every day. Thank you for your inspiring leadership and transformative support of Middlesex County through your community foundation. You are truly good people doing great things whose generosity impacts our community every day. And our libraries? The center of our community. Wow, just wait until you see what they have been doing for our neighbors and friends. Join us as we fly through Middlesex County to see what you made possible. When libraries had to close their doors to the public due to the pandemic, they had to think outside the box and expanded their services, programs, and resources. The Library of Things was born, a truly wonderful way to think of our libraries. Our special thanks to the Ivoryton Library for coining this phrase. From craft tools and specialty cake pans at Ivoryton, to lawn games in Cromwell, to board games and a percussion kit in Killingworth and Portland, to binoculars, a metal detector, puzzles, and more at the Acton Library in Old Saybrook. These libraries went beyond their doors to connect with our neighbors and friends. Wow, a delicious race around East Hampton. The East Hampton Public Library not only went beyond their doors, they went down the street, across town, and met their neighbors and friends outside for a life-size game of Candyland. Yes, you heard me. Ellen Paul and her team, pictured here with Community Foundation board member Scott Nardozzi, turned East Hampton into a life-size game of Candyland. How do you play, you ask? 1, you registered on their website. 2, you picked up your game box. And 3, you went outside and had fun playing the game. But what's in the box? Well, a board game specially made by the East Hampton Library, a cupcake picture frame for all your selfies you took along the way, and a list of local businesses that joined in on the fun, making this a true partnership with the town. And of course, candy. So let the adventure begin. It begins at Candy Castle at the library. So picture this, The moment you walk through the doors, you are greeted with the game board on the walls and floor of the library. Then take a right into the children's area, and whoa, there's a castle made out of over 350 of these boxes. Andrew, Maggie, and Hannah Scheff had their picture taken like many other guests before venturing off into the world of candy. So naturally, Jennifer Hintz and I couldn't resist the fun and had to play. First stop is the Peppermint Forest at the Cranberry Bog and Airline Trail, where we participated in a story walk and read Sheila Ray's Peppermint Stick, a story of one peppermint stick, two sisters, and a sibling rivalry that turns into sweet solidarity. Next up, more sweets, as Jennifer and I head to the village center to ice cream slopes and the gazebo. Our task? Find all the hidden ice cream cones in the village shop windows. Were we successful? Not really, because of course, we had to do some shopping to support our local businesses. Let's see where we went next. So our adventure continues at Licorice Lagoon at Sears Park. Okay, everyone, Jennifer and I need some help solving these riddles so we don't get stuck in the Licorice Lagoon and we can get home safely. So question one for you, chime in if you know the answer. What do you call a sheep covered in chocolate? Any takers? A candy bar. And what kind of beans don't grow in a garden? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Jelly.
Yes, Sharon. Jelly beans. Phew. Phew, 2 out of 3. Sharon, thank you for getting us this far. Okay, last question, everyone. What kind of candy is a happy nut?
It's a happy nut.
Any takers? 3.
Almond Joy.
Yes! Was that Dave Preston? All right. Yes. And Almond Joy. Well, thank you all so much. We are safely out of Licorice Lagoon. And now it is time for the spotlight and a photo shoot at Lollipop Woods. And boy, am I grateful for our game box that came with candy, because I was extra hungry after being surrounded by all of those lollipops. So thank you all for going on this journey. Our final task is complete. Jennifer and I have each had more sugar than anyone should eat in a day. And we are making our way back to Candy Castle to turn in our game board with our answers in hopes of winning one of the prizes. Spoiler alert, we didn't win the prize, but boy, did we have more fun than humanly possible. Thank you, East Hampton Public Library, for not only spreading joy and fun, but for connecting us through nature, teaching our children to read along the story walk, and promoting our local businesses. Thank you. All right, everyone. That's one library, right? So let's see what the others are up to. Ah, perfect. They're getting outside more. So I don't know about you, but after being cooped up in my house throughout the pandemic, I am loving all of the outside activities. The Henry Carter Hull Library in Clinton, in partnership with the Clinton Land Conservation Trust, is hosting a story walk on land trust property. The physical displays are being built as we speak, and soon will go up along the hiking trails. Now, throughout the year, 3 books will be rotated through these displays, so make sure you get out there as much as possible. And stay tuned, Westbrook is organizing summer movie nights, and all are welcome to attend. Social distancing, of course. And man, I cannot wait to watch a movie with my friends and neighbors again. Okay, what's next? Oh, What do the Durham, Levi Eco, Essex, Brainerd Memorial, Deep River, Chester, and East Hampton Moodus libraries all have in common? Craft kits and online programming. Jennifer Lobner from the Levi Eco Library, pictured here on the left, is ready for droves of children to pick up their weekly craft kit. And in Durham, they offered a museum series where children met Atlantic harbor seals at the New England Aquarium, and people of all ages were taken on a virtual art exploration through the Guggenheim Museum. Like many of the libraries, East Hampton put story time online, and Essex created the most adorable craft kit to make mini pom-pom owls. Can't you just see and hear the smiles and giggles and fun being brought to our neighbors and friends throughout the county? I know I sure can. All right, Dragonfly, where do we go next? Last but certainly not least, the Russell Library in Middletown is welcoming spring through random acts of kindness. Ramona Berkey and her team are handing out packets of seeds and flower pots to bring life and beauty to our neighbors and friends, along with these upbeat notes to bring smiles to all. And of course, bubbles. Bubbles are in their random acts of kindness bags, because who doesn't have fun playing with bubbles? Thank you to all our public libraries for being so creative and spreading some joy throughout Middlesex County, not just for this project, but for all you do every day of the year. Thank you to the Peach Pit Foundation for their partnership. Your partnership with the Community Foundation is priceless. And thank you to all of you, all of the wonderful donors, for investing in the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, making this and so much more possible. And now, it is my pleasure to welcome Jessica Scheff from the Peach Pit Foundation and a member of the Community Foundation's board. Let me get her here in our spotlight. Jessica, there you are. So thank you for being here. You played Candyland with your children. Can you tell us more about it?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for that really awesome presentation. I know how hard you work to put that together, and collecting all that data is not easy. So thank you very much. That was awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
So just 2 weeks ago, I was able to take my 3 children to experience this amazing Candyland adventure that East Hampton Library put together. And honestly, it truly was an adventure. For reference, I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old, and they were all equally thrilled by it. My 2.5-year-old had no idea what was going on, but there was candy. My 7-year-old can actually read the signs, and my 5-year-old just ran between all of it and thought it was honestly just the best, craziest thing ever. After the year we've all had, and now just coming out of what felt like an extra long winter, at least to me, it was such a treat to go outside and do something that was really unique and exciting with them. And just the amount of time and effort that obviously went into planning it, making the boxes, filling them with goodies, coming up with the goodies that were in it, the questions, the decorations at each site, all the different sites. I mean, it was honestly, truly outstanding. Not only did they create a 2.5-hour adventure for families to get to enjoy together, but they found a way to integrate other community businesses to celebrate and support the entire town, which I thought was really so special. Several shop owners came out and kind of talked to us as we were going through town, and they were so excited about having this cool thing to do and having the kids doing something that they were enjoying. So that was really amazing to see. And even just this past Sunday, I went walking with a friend on the airline trail through East Hampton, and I saw so many families out enjoying participating in the game together. And it really brought me a lot of joy to see people getting to do such an inventive, fun, creative thing together, especially right now when it's so hard to do anything. So with all of that said, I'd love to introduce Ellen Paul of the East Hampton Library to share more about her experience creating this with all of us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Ellen Paul. I'm the director of the East Hampton Public Library. And I have to thank the Community Foundation and the Peach Pit Foundation, Jessica and Sharon, not just for the grant of $1,000, which was, of course, extraordinary, but also just for the catalyst to think creatively on how we could serve our community in these really difficult times. After soliciting input from our community on what we could possibly do with this money, we decided on this sort of crazy idea of building life-size Candyland all throughout the town. And we thought that we were on to something special, but our suspicions were confirmed when we opened up registration about 2 weeks before Candyland launched, and 1,300 people signed up within 24 hours. In a town of 13,000 people, 10% of our population signed up to participate overnight. It was extraordinary. Candyland just ended this past Sunday, and our conservative estimate is that 3,200 people participated over the 10-day event. This is the largest event in the library's history, and I don't think that we'll be breaking that record, anytime soon. But I think beyond just the pure participation numbers, which were definitely impressive and definitely part of this story, the other part is the reverberation throughout the community that this event had on individuals in our community, on community groups, and on the library itself. We heard from community members that Candyland got them out to explore their town, to places in town that they had never been before. They got to explore their own backyard. We heard from local businesses about the droves of people who were in our downtown village center. Our local coffee shop had to close early, both Saturday and Sunday, because she just ran out of everything. What an amazing problem to have. And it was incredibly special for the library as well. Last Saturday, we saw over 370 people come through the library. That's extraordinary for a non-COVID day, super extraordinary for this time. We made 78 new library cards over this 10-day period. In a town of 13,000 people, that's just remarkable. And we got to interact with new members of our community that we had never seen before. So we had a little boy and his mother come into the library to get their Candyland kit. And the boy sees all of the books around and he pulls on his mother's shirt sleeve and he says, "Do they have any books about Legos here?" And his mother goes, "No, they don't have books about Legos here." And our children's librarian pipes up and says, "Yes, we do." And she hands them to him. What Candyland allowed us to do was not just spread joy throughout our community and not just bring people together when people had to be forced apart, but it also changed hearts and minds in East Hampton about what our local library is and can be for our community. And I am so thankful for that.
This has just been, has this been fun? I mean, are we having a good time? It's been a fabulous afternoon and it's been so fun. Ellen, to meet Ellen for the first time. I'm sorry, my kids and kids don't live in East Hampton. We're all over the place. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time. And thank you, Peach Pit. Thank you, Sharon, Jessica, and your families. You've really started something here, with or without COVID. I think this may be the start of something big and bigger, we hope. And actually for all these faces, I'm looking at a huge gallery here. Just thank you, really. I just want to thank generous friends in the community. You've really made this happen. I mean, it's because of you. It's because our really circle of fabulous friends, our leadership circle, that we can have these things happen, and hopefully more things happen. So what a wonderful welcome to spring. Happy spring, everybody. And thank you for making this happen. We had a great time.
Thank you so much, Judy. There is not a single thing I could say could better show you what this community foundation is about and how all these little things connected together make this an extraordinary county to live in. And we are very, very fortunate people. We're part of that good fortune comes from knowing all of you, and you see what happens as these things snowball along. Creativity abounds, obviously, and that's a wonderful thing. We can't fix all the problems of the world, but boy, what a great way to start when you start to look at the kinds of creativity, the kinds of things that come out of a $1,000 grant in the town of East Hampton. And that's just one of many that we could have featured, but Ellen's crew just did an extraordinary job, and we're so happy that it went so well. Thank you again for attending today.